Hi everyone, this is Valentina from Bad Girls Club Season 10 and Bad Girls All-Star Battle Season 2, and I'm rocking with Aconnectiontv, baby.
And you are watching Aconnectiontv.
Hey folks, it's Ari from Real World Explosion, and you are watching Aconnectiontv.
I am Wesley the Crazy Man. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
What's going on, world? I'm Wesley from Aconnectiontv, the network, the one channel on YouTube where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And the similar connection that I want to try to adopt is with the cast of Season 29, Real World San Francisco Explosion. Now, I didn't do a review of last week's episode, so I'm going to close it all off in this particular review. I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can because I have an interview with Valentina Amore in like 40 minutes. And because I am doing that bad BGC interview, I need to clean all this up and shave all this up. But anyways, I'm going to talk about them separately. First of all, a lot of you guys went off for 40 days and 40 nights on Cory, and about how Cory is a jackass, he's cocky, he's conceited, he's this, he's that. Y'all are all riding hard for Brian. Yay, Brian, this and that and the third. And at the end of the day, I really don't choose sides because they're completely different. They're in two completely different ages, two completely different stories. Like, they are night and day different, okay? Here's what I'm gonna say about the whole Cory and Brian situation. At one point, they liked each other. And then I think the divide between them came when Brian got so boastful and was attacking the people in the house verbally. That's when I think Cory started to look at Brian differently and was just like, okay, what you're not going to do is sit here and disrespect my friends that I came into this whole situation with first. That's what you're not going to do. We can be cool, but I'm going to need you to respect my people because I'm not going to sit here and watch you disrespect my people. So I think that's when the line for Cory and Brian start to be drawn, because they were cool at one point, and Cory was actually defending Brian to Jenny at one point. And so because they're bros, it's like that bros before hoes concept, you know, not calling Jenny a hoe, but it was that bros before hoes concept to where, you know, they had that commonality about one another. So it was like, he's definitely going to get his back. Granted, but only have his back when he feels that he needs to be defended, you know. And so I get that. I gravitated toward that. It made sense to me. Now, the whole situation in the car, where did I leave off? The situation in the van between Cory and Brian. Okay, this is how I'm going to rationalize this in my mind. Be it that I know that we don't see a lot of things, and I know that a lot of discussions are taking place that we don't hear. Cory meets this, she wasn't ugly, but Cory meets this girl in the club, or this girl meets Cory, vice versa. They connect or whatever. Obviously, she sees the cameras. Obviously, she wants to be involved. Obviously, she's one of those groupies, as Cory, you know, gave her that title. You kind of see it. It's blatant. It's obvious. She's just standing idle to the side, like, I feel that the only reason why any of these reality people get any kind of attention in the club is because the cameras are there. From the bad girls to the real worlds to wherever else you're filming. Okay, you're filming? I want to be a part of that. Let me ride with y'all. Okay, hey, you're hot, but you're really not. Because some of these dudes be getting girls' attention, and I'm like, nah, son, like you're not that hot. So obviously it's for the camera. So I can't for the life of me understand why people think that these people are being genuine and authentic with them and wanting to get to know them. When, no, you have a fucking camera around you. Like, really? So every person, to me, if I was on the show, every person coming up to me would be a groupie hoe, because you see the camera, like, let's not fake the funk. So with this girl standing there idle for like 80 hours, waiting to the side for Cory to come up. I mean, Cory is hot, but I mean, really, I'm not that pressed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or at least I wouldn't be, and I've never been. Anytime I go to the club and I see somebody that's hot and I just want to talk to them, I'm not that pressed. So when he meets the girl and they talk, obviously he noticed that the girl is a groupie hoe. So he passes her along or whatever. 10 minutes later, the groupie hoe is talking to Brian, and Brian's all up in it. He's oblivious to it. He's just like, I'm here, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Mind it, he's drunk. He doesn't care about the cameras and all that. He's accepted that about the star quality of the cameras and all of that. He likes that lifestyle. We already know this about Brian. Duh. Also, he's going through the emotional stuff with Jenny. Like, he's all up in his heart and his feelings for Jenny, and Jenny's paying him dust. Dust. Jenny is like, fuck you, get the fuck out my face. I don't care about your emotions. You suck. Kiss my pussy. Like, that's what Jenny is like. And it's just like, damn, son, like, really? So he's going through all of that. So I was feeling why Brian was allowing this girl to come into his cipher. He's drunk, he's emotionally unstable, and he already knows what the cameras can give him. So we get to the vehicle where they're driving, and you know, Cory and Brian, they're exchanging words, so forth and so on, about who can get the most girls, who's cocky, who can get it, whatever. Cory was like, okay, I'm not about to sit here and stroke your ego, because you always want your ego stroked, so I'm not about to do that. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to let you know that you can't one up on me, because first of all, the groupie hoe wanted me first. I passed her along to you. Second of all, because Brian keeps going on and on and on. Second of all, I got Jenny on the second day. And I honestly feel that Cory only said that because he knew it was going to get underneath Brian's skin. And right now, Brian, although he's drunk and whatever, feeling himself, he's borderline overboard with stroking his ego. Cory is a cocky, conceited kind of guy, so he's not going to allow another dude to stroke their ego when he knows he has the one up on him. It's just a man-to-man thing, like it happens all the time. It's not just happening because we're watching it on Real World. It happens all the time. So of course, if you have something on your shoulder that you can boast about, that you know that's going to get something underneath someone's skin, of course you're going to blurt it out. Like I said, I don't think he did that to disrespect Jenny, but at the same time, it is what it is. Let me comment on something else too, because I don't really care if Jenny and Cory had sex in 2 days. It doesn't make it different that it's a month past, 2 months past, 3 months past. The time limit that you have sex with someone does not freaking matter to me, because it doesn't make you a better person. Just because we had sex 2 months after the show started does not mean Jenny is evolved and changed. It does not mean Cory is evolved and changed. It just means that they fucking waited to have sex. Like, there's nothing like prominent about that. Like, I don't understand, like, you know what I'm saying? So for him to be like, I bagged her in 2 days. Like, I don't understand that. And then for someone to give weight to that comment just means that I don't know, they're not really that sure of themselves or that powerful, you know, with themselves. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't really care. You bagged her in 2 days. So anyway, they have this confrontation. They fight or whatever. And there's this scuffle. The producers pull Brian out of the car. They all go home. Cory wants Brian to come back to the house. He wants to fight Brian. They want to get it in. He wants to fight. They don't let Brian go back to the house until that following morning. And so I'm just like, okay, that made sense. That really, okay, I get that made sense. They go through these counseling sessions and these psychoanalysis about these people before they get into the house. Like, will you fight? If this happens, will you do this? Will you do that? And so they figure that, the following morning, he'll get over it. They'll be all right. No problem, whatever the case may be. And then we'll move on from that. And so he gets into the house. When he gets into the house, Brian is drunk. And no, I'm sorry. Brian gets back to the house. They sleep through it. They talk about it. Cory talks to Brian. Brian talks to Cory. Cory is talking to Brian like, dude, I will beat your ass right now. Like, I really wanted to fuck you up, but you weren't here, so I couldn't fuck you up. Like, Cory is talking like Brian can't do any damage to Cory. And if I was Brian, I would feel some sort of way about that. And Brian felt some sort of way about that, which is why Brian challenged him verbally about a lot of things. Like, you don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means? And it was really cocky. They were going back and forth. I really thought Cory was about to fight Brian off how Brian was being toward him and what Brian was saying toward him. But he didn't. So I was just like, okay, no problem. We get past this, they squash it, no beef, whatever the case may be. And then they go out for the last hurrah or whatever, and Brian gets completely wasted. He gets so wasted that he comes back to the house and that he's destroying shit, breaking shit, jumping on shit, bodying Ariel, but Ariel held her own. Like, he's completely lost in translation. Like, he cannot comprehend. He's just insane. He's Incredible Hulk in this particular moment, and it's just disturbing to watch. I can't say I've been belligerent, and I've been insane when I'm insanely drunk before. So where you can't comprehend and you're losing your mind and you can't focus and you're just all over the place and you're talking like that. I've been that way before, but I've never wanted to fight anyone. I've been that way before. And when you black out and you don't remember certain situations. So I could completely understand what Brian was going through at that particular moment. It wasn't funny to watch. It was really disturbing to watch. And everyone, they were sincerely worried for him. Even in the unseen footage, you can see Jay all up in his face like, Brian, it's me. Look at me, Brian. And Brian's like, yeah. It was crazy. That's the moment where Cory finally gets to put some hands on Brian. And not to say that Cory was thrilled or excited that he was able to do that, but he was able to do that because Brian was just going way overboard and Brian needed to be stopped. And so that's what happened in the situation. Now, we get to the reunion. All of their goodbyes were very mellow and non-dramatic. Nobody cried, which was cool. All of their goodbyes were sweet and simple. We get to the reunion. Now, this reunion with Nessa was awesome. The editing was on point. The editing was quick with it, okay? And Nessa asked some great questions. You're on season 29 of The Real World. Over 9 episodes, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 episodes. I can't remember how many episodes there were. And you have a cast of 11. And she was able to wrap up the whole season in that 1 hour. No double take, no extracurricular bullshit. Just wrap it all up in 1 hour. That's a host. That's great editing. That's how you are supposed to do a reunion show. Bring everybody all out at once. First segment, first 7 minutes was the OGs, and then the rest of the show, the whole cast was out there. Why? Because everybody has something that they probably want to say, and everybody has something that they should partake in saying. So yeah, let's bring everybody all out at once. Not this whole single introduction like the Bad Girls Club. So I was really feeling the reunion. Okay, the highlights of the reunion. Ashley and Ariel are still together. I mean, we already knew that from my interview with Ariel. Excuse me. Jay and Jenna aren't together anymore. And I mean, I follow Cory on Instagram, and I recently went to his Instagram, I think because of the reunion. No, I was on his Instagram before the reunion. And he has quite a few events that he's doing with Jenna, and it was very questionable. I mean, him and Jenna were just in Hawaii together, in Honolulu, all on the beach, and just posted up all over his Instagram. And I asked myself, I'm like, okay, before the reunion, you have a video of him, Jay, and Thomas going through New York City together. As the Three Musketeers, and now we have all these pictures of him and Jenna. When I found out that him and Jay and Jenna weren't together anymore, they broke up, I'm like, what? Wow. So is Cory and Jenna together? Like, what? Did they hook up? I'm just like, huh? I was confused because I'm like, if Jay is his boy, like, why would he even think about doing that? But apparently, Cory on his Instagram said that they aren't together, they didn't hook up, they're just friends. So I'm just like, all right. But it did look peculiar, just to say. It just did. Call a spade a spade. It really looked peculiar. So, needless to say, Jay and Jenna aren't together anymore. And Jay and Jenna aren't together anymore because Jenna got a little piece of something extracurricular, and so she's just like, once she hooked up with someone else, she was just like, okay, I really don't need to be dealing with this anymore. And apparently after one of the after shows, Jay had another chick that kind of like, blabbed all about their business to Jenna and sent them emails or pictures of their online video situations happening. And I don't know. It's, Jenna is not with the whole Jay situation anymore. And it really looked like Jay was pissed. Jay was pissed. And then we find out some interesting stuff about Jay, about him lying and faking the funk on the show. And, his life as an MC had ended way before the show even started. And, the OG cast feels some sort of way about Jay and how he perpetrated a fraud. And interestingly enough, Jay hit me up and asked about doing an interview. So I'm willing and able to do an interview, and hopefully we make that happen. I would love to do an interview with everyone on the cast, to be honest. Even a couple of the exes, Brian, Haley. I would love to interview Brian and Haley, and Jenna. I would love to interview them. So when you guys watch this review and just retweet this or tweet this to them and let them know that I want to do the interview with them, it would be cool. I definitely want to do an interview with Jenny. I think Jenny has a lot to say and has a lot going on. Brian and Jenny are still together, which is interesting. They both live in LA. Now, Jenny and Cory hooked up after the show, and then Jenny ended up going to Brian. Jenny and Cory aren't cool anymore. Cory feels that Jenny threw him shade on Twitter. It was so awesome to hear Cory talk about shade. You threw me shade on Twitter. You were throwing me shade on Twitter. It's so awesome. But Cory's like, no, I'm done with that. I don't have any time for that. I'm good. I'm all good with that. And so that's interesting to watch and hear and see. Really, really interesting. You can see that there's definite tension between the two of them. But as as Jenny starts to explain herself about the whole Twitter situation, she's like, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, so forth and so on. And then she starts to talk about Brian, and then, you know, the cast is just like how catastrophic they were for each other in the house, and they don't really see how they're trying to work it out or whatever. And, you know, at the end of the day, Brian's flicking his jacket because he ended up getting the girl in the end. You know, it's that whole macho thing. And at the end of the day, I really don't think Cory cares, but, you know, Brian's flickling his jacket, and then Jenny starts to cry, and then Brian gets up and hugs her, and it's just like this moment of just awe. I don't see how Brian and Jenny are together either. I mean, I know that they have 5 years of history, but I just don't see it either. I just don't see it, but that's just me, okay? We get past that, and I want to talk about Thomas and Jamie real quick. Thomas and Jamie, they argued like sailors in the house, and it was disturbing to watch him call her a bitch, and it was disturbing to watch her say to him that your body is shit, like you don't even have a great body, I don't know why I'm with you. It's something along those lines. And I'm just like, how the fuck did they stay together? I cannot understand how they stayed together, especially when they don't have history. And you're saying all this crap to me, why? Like, I just couldn't understand that. I just really couldn't understand that for the life of me. It just did not make any sense. But they are together. They are living in Texas. They have a dog. He finished college. He's studying for dentistry. Like, I mean, they sound like the Brady Bunch kind of family. It sounds cool. So we move past that. They're still together. Ashley comes on the show, and Jamie is asked the question, do you feel that you would ever be friends with Ashley? And Jamie blatantly says, hell fuck no. Like, I don't like her as a person. She's trash. I was like, damn, really? Like, what? That was crazy to me. And Ashley is just like, when Ashley's like, what's your response to that? You know, Ashley's like, what? I fell asleep. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like a broken record. Ashley and Jamie aren't going to get along. The only person that Ashley gets along with is Jenny. I thought that Ashley coming for Jay about being fake was interesting because he was saying to her that, you know, she doesn't really feel bad about what she did because she just put on for the cameras when they had the after show about acting like she really cared. And then touche, you know, Ashley was like, well, don't you think you kind of put on for the cameras? When that's why the whole cast is saying you put on for the cameras too, so don't even try me. I was like, oops, okay. Lauren, we already know Lauren is not pregnant anymore. She didn't want to say the words, I had an abortion. But whatever, she can do whatever she wants. No judgment here. She's not pregnant anymore. And her and Cory dap it up. I thought that was just like, that was like the realest shit about Real World, because, I mean, it is what it is. Real World season 29 was a hot show. It was a good Real World to watch. I cannot wait for the freaking challenge to come on, the individuals challenge to come on. It starts April something, I think next week Thursday, or this week Thursday, next week Thursday. I cannot wait to see it. And it was interesting how Brian and Cory admitted that Brian admitted that he went on the show to be able to do challenges. And Cory said that he'll do a challenge because they're easy. I want to see the two of them in a challenge with CT. I want to see that. I definitely want to see that. I want to see Marlon back. I want to see CT back. I want to see Wes back. I want to see Anissa's coming back. Like, I want to see all of the OGs, the veterans, back on the challenge. It's going to be hot. I cannot wait to see that. And hopefully I get to do a live interview with Jay. I think that's going to be really cool. I like interviewing people that are on TV. I like interviewing people that are in the limelight. I like interviewing people. It's a fun thing to do. Definitely check out my interview with Kaj Kinson from Atlanta. It's on my home page on Aconnectiontv on YouTube, so definitely check that out. And yeah, stay tuned. More videos to come. And now I have to get ready for this Valentina Amore interview. Deuces, thank y'all so much for supporting my platform. Finally over 45,000 subscribers and still growing. Later.